Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Dad, Papu, Dimitri, Dimitraki, Mimika, Jimmy. Just saying it makes the tears well, not only today that he's gone, but often when I think of him. I have said that he was short in physical stature, but he was oh so tall, with his inner strength, his ability to give selflessly to others, a work ethic embedded for life, by life, and his pragmatic reticence. He shared different parts of himself, of love, with a story about his beloved island, his friends, fishing, quiet demeanor, his ability to fix anything, or at least try, always carrying a pocket knife or a screwdriver, ready and prepared to help out. He knew what it meant to be hungry and barefoot. He also learned how to rise above it. He was a self-made man. Beyond the accrement of a sizable portion of real estate, he educated himself on many levels and continuously, because of his curiosity, learned, observed, and read. Even thanks to two adamant grandsons that introduced him to the pluses of social media and video chat, he got agile using Facebook and Messenger functions on his iPad and was totally enthused with the tool so he could keep in touch with friends and family both near and far. Sharp as a tack when it came to his perspective on politics, moral, practical discussions, and above all, his eternal kindness and generosity. When we think of tributes for Dimitri, we celebrate an extraordinarily generous man who lived a life that was good, but we mourn deeply for the loss of his storgi. Storgi is a Greek word of love, and it combines benevolent guidance and affection. And I think all of us always had that from him. What a father, what a man, what a spirit. Such a man of integrity and kindness to support, leaving a legacy that will live on through his offspring, whether it is his children or his grandchildren. His soul and love are ever present, even as it explores this new part of his adventure. A great example of a self-made man born of hard times. Born February 28, 1930, in Mykonos, to Marina Zuganelli and Apostolos Theodoros Karitopoulos. Dimitri, called Mimika by his early friends, lived his early youth on an island that was impoverished and very poor, and it grew into a place that is known throughout the world as one of the grandest resorts. In many ways, Dimitri flourished in the same way. His formal classroom education ended in the 6th grade. Barefoot and a struggling fisherman, he tried to help his family survive after World War II. But that never diminished the thirst for knowledge and the love for reading. Eventually, he moved to Athens to work in a garage, as life at the mercy of the sea was always a great gamble. On a Sunday afternoon joyride with one of the client's cars that brought him to the U.S., he totaled the car, and knowing it would take him years to pay off the debt, he chose to become a merchant marine. He traveled the seas, paid off his debt, and arrived on American shores. He made his way to Joliet, which most of you all know and love, and now we're in Florida. And there, he met my mom, Sophia Koukas. A few months afterwards, they were married. And in 1960, Paul and I showed up. Siblings, twins. He was no stranger to hard work. His first jobs were painting bridges, not the pretty ones that are in Massachusetts covered with wood, but the big steel beam ones that hang hundreds of feet above the ground. Eventually, he went into business for himself, creating Mykonos Painting Company, specializing in both industrial and home painting. The family remained in Joliet with strong ties to the Greek community and the Orthodox Church. Dimitri and his family traveled to Greece regularly to visit the many friends and relatives in Mykonos and the mainland. He served as an active and dedicated member and officer of the Mykonos Society, as well as Joliet's Aheva organization. A lifelong fisherman and a lover of the sea, he always enjoyed spending time on the water, in a boat, particularly in Florida, where he would spend most winters. A devoted, loving husband who exemplified what it meant to be a spouse in sickness and in health. Sophia, my mom, died in 2004, ending 48 years of their marriage together. My dad remarried a longtime friend, Dr. Josette Rayrand, and we lost her of pancreatic cancer in 2011. In 2014, he moved permanently to Florida's Tampa Bay area, beautiful Clearwater, where he has lived in great joy with his partner, Maria. And finally, at rest at 87 years of life. Monday, according to my cousin Kathy, he was happy to be hanging up Christmas lights and making plans, looking forward to the childish joys of a wonderful holiday, a New Year's celebration as he awaited many visitors, myself, cousins from Greece, a little bit weaker, a little bit slower, but still a lion. Early Tuesday morning, he suffered a stroke. At the hospital, his condition was assessed and showed no hope. The brain had lost most function. Holding a steady vigil at his side, Maria, my dearest cousins Kathy, Tom, and Pat were there until Paul, Alex, and Adriana could come and say a final hello and a final goodbye. The ventilator was shut down, and 30 minutes later, Dad went away quietly, at peace. One thing that those of you who have known him for a long time, he always said, "Let no breath of mine burden another." He would always tell us this when we spoke of his friends and family who had been troubled by issues of health. And because he had been so good to so many, that great power honored his last desire. He didn't suffer or wither. The Greek expression is "Έφυγε σαν πουλάκι," and what that means is that he left as light as a little bird. My brother and I have registered more than 700 messages, texts, emails, Skype phone calls from family and friends. That is not a reflection on who we know. It's a reflection on who he was and the people that knew him. One friend in Greek said, "Αποχαιρέτησε τον Λεβέντη τον πατέρα της." The word Levendi, it does not translate to any English word. And what it means is that we said goodbye to a fine man of dignity, admired in the community for his respect for the community. How aptly she summed up these proceedings. So, farewell, Levendi. Thank you, friends, for your kind, empathetic words, many of which may your loving memories bring you peace, comfort, and strength. I am so sorry for your loss. My deepest sympathies. Our condolences on the death of your family. Rest in peace. May his memory be eternal. When we lose a loved one here on earth, we gain an angel in heaven that watches over us. These words, as much as we try and give comfort to one another, they are just words. They cannot fill the emotional emptiness that exists when we lose someone so good. We are all sorry and heartbroken to hear such awful news. He has had a beautiful life. He wished, and we wish that you may have his wish. We will always remember Theo Dimitri for his kind actions. Our prayers are with you. May God give you the strength for this difficult time. Asine elefthero to choma pusaton skepasi. May the dirt be light that covers him. Eonia imnimistu. Eternal be his memory. Silipitiria. Condolences. Zoe sesas. Life to you. Kalotaksidi. Bon voyage. Nazita natontimosas. May you live and remember him. Naehipanda tinefitu. May you always have his best wishes. And finally, Kaloparadiso, good heaven. Although sincere and filled with empathy, what small words for such a big presence in our life. One can hope the moments that make us smile when we think of Dimitri, Dad, Papu, Mimika, Jimmy, will sustain us at the times when we miss him the most. All of us were not just lucky, but blessed to have such a strong patriarch to show us the way to live. He seems to have left the best way any of us can hope to pass on. Fond memories of a life well lived and a gentle kaimon. From the words of Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. From Samuel Johnson, it matters not how a man dies, but how he lives. And from Mark Twain, the fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. On behalf of Paul, Alex, Jim, Frank, Danielle, Ariana, Jake, Aristos, Dimitris, Maria, and of course Kukla, I thank you for being here to honor and celebrate his life with us. Thank you for coming today. If any of you want to say something, the microphone is here. We're happy to hear your memories. Don't be shy. He isn't.